What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to this week's installment on The Lake Show. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays to everyone out there. I hope you stay safe this holiday season, and I hope you all have a blessed time with your family and friends, or whoever you're sharing it with. You know, this is the time of year. It's always been kind of stressful sometimes. The holiday shopping season, obviously, if any of you work during this time, obviously know that, you know, traffic is absolutely fucking ridiculous, and it's impossible to go anywhere without running into issues or problems like that. So, you know, it's the holiday season. We all love it. And especially here in Ohio, everyone loves the snow. And that's for sure not the case with me. I can't stand the snow. That's another reason I can't wait to move out of Ohio. The snow and me just do not get along. I'm a great driver in the snow, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's a pain in the ass to deal with. That's for sure. But like I said, happy holidays to everyone. And this will be dropping on Christmas morning, so I hope you all have a blessed time. So today, I wanted to do something a little bit different. Obviously, 2023 is winding down. 2024 is right around the corner. And I wanted to do a little bit of a self-reflection video. And, you know, somewhat of a motivational video for all of you who may be struggling or going through anything, or maybe are experiencing some self-doubt, or maybe just don't know where to go in life from here. So first off, I want to start by saying congratulations to all college graduates of 2023, fall 2023. I finally did graduate. It's still so surreal in a way because I woke up the Monday after graduating and I was bored. Very, very bored, to say the least. For the longest time, especially the past 5 years being in college, it's been kind of a culture shock almost because I've been so used to a routine. My routine is the most basic routine that you could possibly think of. I get up, I go get coffee and a breakfast sandwich at my favorite coffee shop. Then I go to class. Then I go to the library. Then I do homework. Then I go home a little bit. Then I go to the gym. Then I go to work some days. And then I go straight home and then repeat the cycle. You know, for a lot of people, a consistent grind, a consistent regiment is almost necessary in people's lives. And as soon as you take that out of their life, it gets a little weird. Honestly, I woke up that Monday morning, like I said, after graduation, I was just so bored. Like, I had way too much time on my hands. Even when I'm working, I still have so much time in my life to, go out and do what I want to do. You know, the gym takes up a couple hours, and obviously working 8 hours any given shift, it's just, I still have so much time out of the day to be productive and do things. And sometimes I feel like people get lost with that. They don't manage time properly. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people struggle with. And it's not something easily overcome because a lot of people, and myself included, we all like to be lazy now and then. We like to just lay in our bed, finding ourselves scrolling through TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, also known as X. Still can't believe Elon Musk changed the name of Twitter. Twitter was so iconic. Why the hell you got to change it to X? But it's neither here nor there. What do I know? I'm just a simple podcaster, simple college graduate from Youngstown State University. I don't know nothing, right? But when it comes to time management, a lot of things I can recommend to people who maybe struggle with laziness or contentment is to really just go out and it sounds so cliche, but just to go out and try new things. Literally anything that can take your mind off of anything and just keep you occupied. See, the problem with becoming too lazy and the problem with sitting around is you'll become too lazy. You'll become content with that. And you won't have that basically simple drive and motivation and discipline that you had. And I'm speaking for college students, of course, but this can apply for literally anyone in life. Obviously, time is important. And there's one thing that you can't get back in this life, and it's time. So in my opinion, don't waste it. That's the simplest form, and it's very cliche, but at the same time, I feel like it's so right because you could spend so much time just learning new things, Like for me, for instance, here's what I'll tell you guys what I've been occupying myself with. Now, obviously, I've been a big advocate for trying new things. And a big proponent of that is struggling with contentment in laziness, honestly. After a while, at least throughout this entire year, ever since I'll go back to 2022, and that's the year where I really decided to, change my life and do a complete 180 of where I was going. Because if I did continue on the old path of mine, the old ways, where, I took everything to heart, everything that happened to me, all the struggle I've been through, all the, dealing with the depression, the anxiety, the stresses of the world, that year, it was an eye-opener. And the wake-up call I needed to really, start taking my life serious. It's not that I want to say I wasn't taking it serious, but it's almost as like I was going through the motions of life without any purpose or sense of direction. I feel like a lot of college kids did that or continue to do that. My best advice for kids in college still, or who plan on going to college next year, coming in January, is to, take it serious. For a long time, like I mentioned in episodes months and months and months ago, and like I've preached to everyone, if you're going to go to college, commit on graduating. A lot of people feel like they're just going to college to party, hang out with their friends, and just skid by. Well, newsflash for everyone who still thinks that's the case and thinks college is a joke, obviously depending on what your given field is. Everyone who thinks that college is a joke or you're just going to be cruising through it without putting in any effort, discipline, or consistency, I'm sorry, you're in for a rude awakening and life is going to hit you like a sack of bricks and you were going to come tumbling down. That's just honest to God truth. My entire college life up until 3 semesters ago was one giant joke. I didn't take class serious ever. I would ditch it all the time to go hang out with friends or just do my own thing. Because honestly, I didn't care at that point. But in the back of my mind, I knew it was wrong, and I knew that I needed to change something. But at that time, I was younger, I was dumber, I was naive, and I only lived life for the thrill, for the parties, for the interactions with people. And I'm not saying necessarily that's a bad thing, because everyone needs to blow off steam. Everyone needs to go out and have fun. You only have one life, so you have to enjoy it. But only so much partying and so much, time spent going out and not taking college serious at all, you really hinder your growth in a way. For instance, my GPA, I was always a good student. I wasn't the best. I wasn't a valedictorian or anything in high school. Certainly wasn't the best. But I was pretty good. And I could have went to a decent amount of colleges that I would have liked to. I still wish I got into the University of Miami to this day. I just needed a couple more points on that ACT. Still to this day, our education system, while it has its issues, the biggest issue in my book is the ACT and SAT. I don't think any of those placement tests should dictate where you are able to go to college or anything like that. Now, maybe if you're going to like Harvard or Yale or Princeton, yeah, I guess it can matter. Obviously, depending on what field you're going to. If you're going to be a lawyer, yeah, I guess you only want the top of the top students, which is understandable because they're going to be representing your entire university out in the real world, like Harvey Specter or Mike Ross, for those Suits fans out there. That series is great. I watched it 7 times over, and I still can't get enough of it. But like I said, to wrap everything up in that, if you think that you're just going to go to college and just skim by and put in minimal effort, maybe you'll squeak out some good grades, but at the same time, guess what? You're not going to go far in life because you have already downgraded yourself in your work ethic, your motivation, and your discipline and your consistency. You have none of that at that point. Now, maybe you consistently go out, maybe you consistently get high, get drunk, just live for the thrill. But guess what? When the things that matter in life, those are the real, the real tests. Discipline, consistency, constantly. That's something you're going to be constantly tested with throughout your life. It's not just going to be a one-time thing. Every single situation that you could possibly be put in on this planet requires discipline and consistency. Whatever action you want to take, whatever you want to grow and achieve, whatever you want to strive for, discipline and consistency. And that starts up here. It all starts with your mental process and how you perceive things. I'm sorry, if you only think about partying, drinking, smoking, whatever it is, living for the thrill, and not caring about any of the consequences that come with actions, guess what? You're in for a long life, and you're in for a lot of struggle. And at that point, you don't have thick skin, because for me, I have thick skin now because I saw my misdeeds. I understand where my life was going. I understand the damage that I did to myself. And I realized to myself of how undisciplined I was and how inconsistent I was for the things that mattered in this world, for the things that could help propel me forward in life to achieving what I want. I have business aspirations. I have so many different goals and achievements that I want to accomplish. Guess what? That foundation can be started right after high school, in high school, or in college. So honestly, the real choice is yours. Are you going to continue to go down a path of misdeeds, drinking, partying, just a life of, a life of thrill with no initiative behind it? You really have to take your life and put it into perspective. Like, is this what you're going to be doing your whole life? Are you going to be drinking the entire time? Are you going to be going out partying? Well, guess what? You ain't going to be doing shit if you're broke. That's for sure. You're not going to be doing shit if you can't have a job or even hold down a job. If you're calling off work to go drink, I'm sorry. That's the dumbest decision you can make. Now, I'm a hypocrite in a way because I've done it. I'll be the first one to admit I've called off because I was hungover before. It's no secret. Everyone does it. But I realized that I was setting myself up for failure. The more you behave like this, the more you behave in a misdeed fashion, the more likely you're going to struggle in your entire life. Think about it. If you are willing to give up on small things, like just going to class consistently, or even just doing homework assignments, or even just showing up on time to places, or even just going to the gym, you're willing to give up on much bigger things in life. And I guarantee you, a lot of you don't want to hear that. That's the honest to God truth, though. The more you live your life reckless, the more ill-prepared you'll be for your future endeavors. Discipline and consistency has always been my thing, and it's always something I'm going to preach to everyone. Back in 2022, when I was going through everything, now most of you who watch my channel, pretty much all of you who watch my channel, all my close friends, my family, they know everything I've been through. But they know what kind of person I've become because I endured it. A lot of people go through struggle in this life. A lot of people go through depression and anxiety, and they may not even realize it. But the biggest issue is not acknowledging that you have a problem when there is a problem. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So, if you're struggling with anything like that, you really need a kick in the ass to set your life in motion for the better. Like I said, in 2022, that was my rock bottom. I had no sense of direction. Didn't feel like I had a purpose. I felt like I was just here, going through the motions of life with no goals, no aspirations. No care in the world, honestly. I cared about going out and having fun. Of course I did. And I'm not going to judge anyone who does, because we all like to go out every now and then. But I'm talking about the people who specifically go out each and every week just to drink, get plastered, and just live recklessly, honestly. Yeah, when I hit rock bottom, there wasn't a worse feeling I could ever imagine other than what I went through with everything. I said that, and I'm not going to diminish anyone else's stresses or anxieties that they've been through or anything that they've been through in their life, any situations that you've been put in. But the fact is that I went through it all and I came out the other side when I didn't even think I was going to. You all know my mental state at that point, at that time in my life, nearly 2 years ago. If you told me at the end of 2022 that I would be doing any of this, that I would have graduated college, that I would have a great relationship with my friends and my family, that I'd be doing a podcast, that I'd be trying to do business aspirations and grow a business or grow a brand, trying everything in the book to be successful, I would have told you you're full of shit. That's how bad I was. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. Now, I feel like, sometimes you do have to suck it up and just deal with it. But when it comes to other things like heartbreak, loss, depression, I'm not saying that it's hopeless, because there's always hope when it comes to something like this. No matter what you go through in life, you're going to have to overcome a lot. And one thing that I can pride myself on is saying I did it. I have faced the brink of disaster when it comes to depression and anxiety. I have faced the worst of the worst when it comes to your mentality, your thought process. Everything that you could possibly think of, I thought of. It's not a place you want to be in your life. But I'm not going to sit here and say that everything I went through, everything I was put through, was a bad thing. Maybe the stuff itself, yeah, of course it was bad. But everything happens for a reason in this life. And I think that's also why I grew my relationship with God and Jesus. Because I finally realized I can't do this on my own. I needed something else. I need faith. I put faith in Christ. I put faith in my belief in Him, that everything happens for a reason, that He is my Savior, that He died on the cross for my sins. Like I said, I went to therapy before. That helped a lot. But the main thing that did help me was finding religion. And my message to everyone has always been, find that something and always tackle your issues head on. You can't run from your past, because the more you try to run from it, you can do it for a while, but eventually it's going to catch up with you, and then your life is just going to come crumbling down right in front of you. So no matter what you're going through, loss, heartbreak, depression, own up to what you've done, forgive those who have hurt you, and get to work. There's an age-old saying that time heals everything. While I partially agree with it, I don't think it's necessarily the entire 100% truth. Time does heal, but only if you work with it. The work you put in with the time you have, overcoming everything, struggles, depression, anxiety, loss, heartbreak, it doesn't matter. Time will only heal you if you're willing to put in the work to achieve it. That's the honest to God truth. That's how it will always be. Life is going to throw you curveballs, and it only matters how you respond to it. Life can knock me down 100 times. I will get up 101. It doesn't matter. I will always overcome everything to my best. I still have my bad days. I've had quite a few bad days, even this year. Even when I was doing new things, even when I started this show, when I started thinking about my business aspirations. Hell, even graduating college when I had a 1.13 GPA and almost got kicked out of school. I had faith in myself to, put in the work. Now, like everyone says, like, you have to have faith, especially my fellow Christians. Like, obviously we place our faith in Jesus as he can help lead us, which, yes, he does. But at the same time, you have to have belief in yourself that you can do it, that you can accept everything that has happened to you. Life gives you lessons or blessings. It's your job to distinguish the two. If something bad happens to you, the honest to God truth is, you have to take it as a lesson in life. Could be a small lesson, could be a big lesson. But either way, everything in this life happens for a reason. And it's your job to distinguish the fact of the good and the bad, the reasoning behind it. Because there's always going to be a reason that stuff happens in your life. Looking back on everything, I still can't believe to this day that I was able to graduate college. I really didn't. I had no faith at all that I would have been able to graduate. Meaning, I was a horrible student the first couple years. I really was. Like I said earlier, I ditched class all the time, did my own thing, didn't really care. Still turned in assignments, but they were all half-assed. I'd never put any time into study. Now, granted, I wasn't in the field that I really wanted to be in, or that at the time I really thought I was going to be in, but those are those life situations where it hits you and you have to make a change. And that really got my ass in gear when it came to the school aspect, is realizing that, yeah, if you do this again for another semester, guess what? You're getting kicked out of school because your grades are that poor and your GPA sucks. I had to look at myself in the mirror and own up to it and realize that I'm not a fuck up, but you're fucking up. That's the reality of it. I had to stand in front of the mirror, look myself in the eye, and I called myself a failure to my own face because that's what I was up to that point. That is, it's unfortunate because nobody should ever talk bad about themselves. That's one thing that I will also preach to everyone. Don't dwindle your own hope. If you have aspirations, if you have ideas, goals, achievements, dreams, don't belittle them. And the same goes for everyone else when I say don't belittle anyone's dreams or aspirations that they may have. Because some people in their lives, they may only have that hope. And I don't think it's wise to diminish that because you don't know what their life is like, you don't know what they've been through, and you don't know what can set them off, for better or for worse. I will always preach this, that never deprive someone of hope when that could be the only thing that they have left in this world. I'm much more compassionate for people and what they go through. Whatever issue it is that they're going through in their lives, I never take lightly. And that's mainly because I've went through everything. And I feel like that's why a lot of people confide in me, is because I've been through so much, probably more than some people will probably ever see in their lives. But at the same time, it's a blessing because it feels good that I know people trust me with stuff they're going through because what I've been through. And I feel blessed that I'm able to help others to the best of my ability. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist. But I do know what's right from wrong. And I do know if you are going through something, I can point, and you're struggling, I can point you in the right direction of where you should start. And that's for sure. And, a long time ago, it's just crazy to me that I overcame everything that was thrown at me. Heartbreaks, loss. It's just the fact that it always felt like something was going wrong. And when things started to go right, I got too excited for it, only for life to knock me back down again. But at the same time, when things start going right, I I feel like everyone should be optimistic about that, but, be open to interpretation for whatever gets thrown your way. The one thing that has really helped me, obviously everyone knows this, when I tell everyone that I've leaned more into my faith than I ever have in my life. And my favorite Bible verse of all time, still Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ which strengthen me. That phrase does get misconstrued a lot, meaning a lot of people feel like, oh, with God by my side, like I can do anything I want in this world. And yeah, well, guess what? You're not going to go bench press Mount Everest. I'm sorry. But the true meaning behind Philippians 4:13 is through the good and through the bad, through the horrible and through the amazing. No matter what happens to you in life, good or bad, you are always content with God. I'm always going to be okay. I have to realize in my life, and I feel like a lot of people who are struggling need to hear this in their lives, realizing that, yes, bad things happen, but it's always how you respond to it. But it's okay that it happens because it's how you grow. It's how you build yourself up to something unstoppable. It's how you build yourself into the person you want to be. I've told some friends this before who I've had on. It's, you can't shy away from anything that's bugging you in life or any given situation that you're currently in. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. If it's a struggle, if it's something that makes you anxious, like I said before, tackle it head on. Because the more you try to run from your past, the bigger the bite it's going to take out of you later down the road, because you're just going to be ill prepared to deal with it. The similar circumstances that you're going to be thrown into, and it could happen any day of your life. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen a week from now, a month from now, 10 years from now. It doesn't matter. If you have unresolved issues, if you have unresolved, situations that you have not dealt with, you are in for a rude awakening. My whole point of this podcast was to help guide people who are struggling and don't know what their purpose is in life and don't know if they have any sense of direction. I am very confident in saying that each and every single one of you, no matter what the life situation is like, poor, rich, healthy, sick, it's okay. It's going to be okay. Life puts us through a whole bunch of tests. Life puts us through the ringer a lot. But it's how we respond to that really defines you. How do you want to be defined? Do you want to be defined as someone who always gives up in times of crisis, in times of hardship? Or do you want to be known as someone who's an overcomer, who's strong, who has a presence to themselves, who can safely look at themselves in the mirror and be content with themselves and be okay with themselves and loves themselves and is happy with themselves? You can't put a price tag on that. A lot of people, I know some people who have talked to me before. They know rich people and they know less rich people. That some of the richest people in the world, they have unlimited dollar signs in that bank account. Some of the most miserable people on earth. And you have other people in this world who can't rub two nickels together, and they're the happiest individuals you'll ever meet. It's all about perspective. That's the truth. I put my life into perspective before. All the bad that has happened to me. Everything. From heartbreak to loss, to losing my house, to losing family members, friends. I put it all into perspective, and, it's still a shock to this day that I was able to overcome it all. But I realized that, you have to be. If you don't deal with anything, then you're just going to spiral out of control in the future. You have to deal with your issues. no matter what the cost is. It doesn't matter what it takes. You have to be willing to put in the work and the effort and go to certain lengths that you didn't think possible before, to better yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. Every aspect of life requires discipline and consistency and hard work and effort. It doesn't matter what profession you are. It doesn't matter what school you go to. It doesn't matter what life circumstances you're in. No matter what, you have to work hard, put in the effort, and just become so disciplined and consistent to where it's normal for you. One of my favorite episodes I did this year was with my buddy Alex Mamula. It's kind of crazy. We graduated high school together in 2018, and now this past semester we graduated college together. It's little wholesome moments that just make you think about so much that went on in your life. I still, growing up is weird. It really is. Because now I'm a real adult. I am completely done with school. And a lot of other people are too. So what's next? I'll be honest. This past week, last week, I became so lazy. I was off my gym grind. I was off taking notes about, finances and everything that I've prided myself on growing. My channel, I struggled with laziness almost. All I wanted to do was just sit in bed, almost as like a sigh of relief that it was all over. But guess what? It's not over. I still have a whole life to live, and a lot of you do too. So if you're struggling with laziness, this is a sign for you to get your ass in gear and just get up and work. Maybe you don't have a job yet. Maybe you're waiting for that right fit, which is understandable. You don't want to just go chasing price tags everywhere. You don't want to just go job to job to job. You want to hold something down that you could be proud of. But in that meantime, try new things. Go out and do something. Travel. Do whatever it is you have to do to, get yourself out of that lazy mode. Because Lord knows I was there. And it made me miserable. Walking back in the gym for the first time in over a week, I felt sick to my stomach that I actually let myself get that lazy. I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. Laziness. It's a plague, and it's going to haunt you. Your laziness will haunt you your entire life if you allow it. It's a slippery slope because it's very easy to slip into. Stuff like depression and anxiety, that's not terribly easy to slip into. Laziness is by far the easiest thing you could ever slip into. You just have to do nothing. That's it. But that'll be your downfall if you decide to just get lazy now. Man, as much as I have had my issues with college, with life, I still reminisce on all the great moments that I've had. I've bashed the meaning of college. I've bashed the education crap that goes along with college. I've bashed college in every way, shape, and form on this channel before. And like I said to people before, those who are younger and maybe plan on going to college, my message to those people is don't go to college unless you commit on graduating. Why take out all that money if you're not going to get something as a result of it? Because yes, maybe I don't think there's any shame in working a 9-to-5. Especially on social media nowadays, we see all these financial gurus, we see mega millionaires, we see all these, pop stars, athletes, everything. We see them all living the most luxurious lifestyles you can think of. But I don't think and making millions of dollars, I don't think that's necessarily the key to that's not the key to happiness. I'm sorry. Money, I have never been in a better place in my life mentally. And I'm nowhere near the level of money that all these influencers and financial gurus and athletes and everything, Hollywood stars, it doesn't matter. I am nowhere near close to their financial situation. but I've become content in the person I'm becoming. No matter what, you got to constantly grow. No matter what, you are constantly growing and developing and evolving. And that's why I am not afraid of any challenges that life throws my way, because I've done the work. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. And I know I'm going to be okay because I overcame a lot. And I'm sure more situations are going to pop up in life that are going to require strength to push through. But I know for a fact I can do it because I proved to myself that I could. And I think anyone who deals with anything like this, maybe you feel like it's hopeless, maybe you feel like it's pointless, you owe it to yourself to try. You owe it to yourself to overcome it all. You owe it to yourself to strive, endure all the pain, all the suffering, all the hardships, to grow yourself into the person you've always wanted to be. You can't put a price tag on that. You can't put a price tag on your health that you have, your happiness that you have. You know, no dollar amount will ever buy you a single shred of happiness. Maybe it'll, it'll make life comfortable. Money makes life more comfortable, that's for sure. But I don't believe that money is the sole source of happiness. I think it's very low on the totem pole. Happiness and self and love, you have to start that with inside yourself. That's on you. That's something you have to find within yourself and your meaning of love, happiness. I feel like that's what a lot of people strive for in this whole life. A sense of purpose, of love, of happiness, the pursuit of something great. And I've said before on this channel, I feel like Gen Z is so crippled by fear that they're so scared to go out and achieve something that might make them happy or might give them a sense of purpose. You're never going to know unless you try. If you are in the same position right now, let's say you're just in your standard position right now, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally. If you are miserable in this current situation and you change nothing, if you act on nothing, and if you try nothing new, you cannot be shocked about the mental state that you'll be in. You cannot be shocked that nothing is going to change. That's insanity. When it feels scary, that's when you have to jump. That's when you have to take a chance. Life is all about failing and overcoming. Failing, enduring more, and just pushing through. That's all life is. It's simple. It's a simple concept. But a lot of people make it out to be this mega equation that is somehow confusing to solve. It's not. I truly believe that's what life is really about. Going through tests, trial after trial, going through hardships, going through struggle, and enduring more to build yourself up into the person you want to be. And I really hope you all take this to heart. I can't thank you guys enough for a hell of a 2023. And all my friends and family who have been there to support me. I love all you guys, especially those who have helped me, take that next step in my life into bettering myself as a better person. I'm eternally grateful for all of you. We did reach a new milestone, 50 subscribers on YouTube. It's a start. And like I said before, if you told me I would have had a YouTube channel back in 2022, I would have told you you're full of it. But like I said before, take a chance. Take that uncomfortable step. Put yourself out there. Do something new. This is a time where you should be in your 20s, late teens, early to mid 20s. This is when you should be taking risk. This is when you should be risking it, trying new things, to have fun, be happy, and find your purpose in life. It's It's all about taking chances. So what if you fail? Fail 100 times, succeed the 101st. It doesn't matter. The more you fail, the more likely something is going to work in your favor. The more you fail, the more likely something is going to work out for you. So you can't be scared of that at all. Who cares how many times it takes? As long as you're trying something new every single time. Because guess what? When you're trying something new, let's say it doesn't work out. Okay, you learn new valuable skill sets. You learn. That's what life is about. Learning, growing, evolving, overcoming, pursuing, everything, all of that. This is the time to take risk. And especially to all my fellow college graduates out there and those who are upcoming, take chances. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. Failure is just a stepping stone to success. Think of it as a staircase. Each step you take is a fail. Eventually, you're going to reach the top, which is success. But failures are the building blocks to get to success. And that's what everyone should strive for. Take risks. Strive for something great. Go be great. Find something you're passionate about. Give it a chance, no matter what it is. I never thought that this would turn out to be a passion of mine. I never thought in a million years that I'd be doing something like this a year ago. But here I am. I was willing to take that first step to try something new. Try something out of pocket. Try something that made me uncomfortable at first. Now, I'm literally sitting in front of a camera, my phone camera, talking to everyone through a screen by myself right now. And I'm enjoying every second of it. You don't know until you try. Don't knock something until you try it. Keep striving for greatness. Go out and pursue something great in your life. I really hope you all take this to heart. I really do. It's been one heck of a 2023, that's for sure. Ups and downs, struggles, successes. All of it is just designed to make you a better person and to build you up into the person you're meant to be. I really appreciate everyone subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate all my listeners. I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity that all of you have given me. You know, like I said before, this has given me new meaning. This has given me a sense of purpose. So what if it fails later down the line? I'm not going to stop trying new things. I'm not going to stop trying to grow into a better person. I'm not going to stop trying at all. I will endure as many failures as I need, as many as God intends, to reach my fullest potential. I'd like to thank you all for listening. Thank you all for tuning in on this beautiful Christmas morning. Hopefully it's snowing. Like I said before, I hate snow. The only days I want snow out of the year are Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Other than that, I'm cool without snow. That's for sure. Beauty of living in Ohio. Gotta love it. But I'd like to thank you all for tuning in this week. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave some comments down below. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone. I'm your host, Dominic Lako. God bless.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up, so